last game this is.
Yeah, perfect game. Yes.
Obviously, a big friend of yours as well, Dani. You know a lot about him. He's been waiting a while to play this game today, hasn't he? Has he been a little bit nervous as such, or should he be okay?
At the start, he was like really, like he was here, and after he calmed down a bit, and he's focusing.
What do you make of his draft then? Overall,
the formation is not like in his favor, but the team itself, it's really good.
He spoke to us and said it could potentially be playing the 3-5-2 if it came up. The 3-5-2 did come up.
Yeah.
Are you surprised he didn't take it?
No, I'm not surprised. It's really risky to take a 3-5-2 in the draft, especially against a stranger. You need to defend us.
Because we know Dani, last year when he went in front, he put 5 at the back and brought Pepe.
Yeah.
This year I was asking about, he said he goes to the 3-5-2. When he was on the couch earlier, he said he might go for it, the 3-5-2, but in the end, I think he's made the right choice.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the two players draft? Did you get to see the strangers?
What I can remember, Stranger got a really good formation for his liking.
4-4-2, yep.
It counters the 4-3-2-1 in my eyes. But the players itself, Dani has a much better team, like overall. Defense, Ferdinand. I've never seen him. Crazy.
That was the first time we've seen Real Ferdinand at all. What are your thoughts on the on Dani's draft in particular then?
Yeah, like the Ferdinand is a big one. Best defender in the game. Yes, Totti, Modric, Totti, Kante, midfield is good. Ronaldo, Messi, Hazard up front.
And talk to me about the tournament yesterday for you, obviously. Didn't go to plan as such, but how was your draft? Did you use 2 drafts? Did you just use your first one? How did it go for you?
My first one was awful. I got like only non-rares.
Okay.
So I took my second, didn't get a good formation. I get a 4-2-2-2. I never played it. I wanted to play the 4-4-2 or the 4-1-2-1-2, but yeah, it didn't go my way, and yeah, I didn't play well as well. So.
And take me through those games. Who did you come up against in your group?
I came up against Salser. Yeah, first game of the day, hands a bit cold. I lost 3-2.
Okay.
We both got many chances. Like we hit the post 5 times, I guess, in the same game.
Okay.
The second game, 4-4. He made a late equalizer, I guess. And then I played Sian after, and Sian was like another level.
Of course.
He got
18 points out of the group. He won every single game.
Exactly. He had a crazy team. He's a crazy player, and he got a good formation. So yeah, then it's a bit difficult to play against him.
And it goes without saying, I've seen you downstairs in the players' lounge, just gaming away all day and yesterday.
Yeah.
Have you done weekend league?
Yeah.
Have you done it all?
Yeah, I've done it all.
You're 3rd in the world when I last looked. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that still on or not?
Yeah, it's still on, but because I played my games very early.
Okay, obviously, yeah.
And I'm not going to get top 100, but I played a good weekend. In my eyes, I improved, and I played a lot of good players. So I'm confident.
And this is what these tournaments are all about, Rich, isn't it? Coming up against, again, another 31 fantastic players, which is 32 overall. Bit of practice, a trip away into Germany or another town for some of these guys who already live in Germany.
And also, you're getting to use players that you didn't use before in Ultimate Team. We've seen a lot of Team of the Year Canes come out. He's been very big for players. Who are some of the players that you had in your draft who you'd never used before?
Like I had the worst midfield possible. I had Casemiro in my 2 CDMs and Partey from Atletico Madrid. So I couldn't build up. I passed to them and they couldn't turn or move the ball. So it was really hard to build up. And that I'm a build-up player, so it was hard for me. But like a player I would never use, I had Mtiti in the back and Varane. So I've never used them both.
Did you like them too?
No, they were absolutely awful. So.
And obviously you were in Barcelona.
Yeah.
How did you find that?
Barca was a great experience. I had my criticism on the tournament because it didn't go very well in my eyes. I played 2 games in 10 hours. But yeah, overall, I like the format, like the new system, the Swiss system. And I got 5 wins and 2 losses, and then I played against Marv. Yeah, I couldn't really play my game against Marv. It's a really hard player to play against because he plays possession and he's really good when he's up front. So he counters my playstyle, and yeah, I didn't go through.
And a different format we saw there, Richard. Swiss-style format back in Barcelona. I presume it'll be the same in April in Manchester as well. this is what is good. You know, we've tried out a Swiss-style format for the first time really in FIFA esports. We've got a draft format here in Germany. It's all good stuff, isn't it? You know, especially with FIFA the way it's going. Try out different formats early.
Yeah, the game just keeps on developing, really. Different formats, different group stages. We saw the Swiss style, as you said. Here we've seen top 2 go through, bottom 2 go out, and then we go into a round of 16 format, straight knockout over the course of the 3 legs. What's your prediction for this game? Who are you thinking?
I'm really rating both players, of course. Dani is like one of the best in the Netherlands, maybe the best. And he has like this confidence boost that he gets in game when he plays well and he's like down or up.
It comes alive, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the Strxnger is like one of the world's best players. He came into FIFA 17 last year with me in the groups and he knocked me twice out.
Yeah.
Knocked me twice out, and yeah. I rate him really high.
And obviously, you've competed in the Eredivisie before, and obviously represent the club, which I've tried to pronounce it a number of times downstairs. How does that feel, first of all? Obviously, to represent the club, obviously linked in with Bundled Esports. How was it for you?
Bundled took care of me, and they arranged this deal for me. Pek Zwolle is the
Pek Zwolle.
pronunciation.
Pek Zwolle. Am I anywhere near that? I'm sure the chat will have their own opinion. There's a lot of course, as well, guys. I'll point the chat out to King Ep. Any questions for that man? Get him in.
I see a few names.
A few fans, yeah. A few guys you do know in there.
Lev Vinken from Ajax.
Is he in there?
Yeah,
Lev Vinken. Oh, hello, Lev. Obviously, we were commentating, weren't we, Rich, at the Zigoe battle where Lev, from a fan to
There we see the Stranger. There we see actually Dani's team. The Strangers team was the 4-4-2. Very stacked team. Do you think Turan might come off early, potentially for?
Yeah, I think he's gonna sub his striker off and Turan maybe. Striker for Messi. Yeah.
There we go then. So, obviously on the left, you can see the Strangers team represent FC Basel. And then, miss that man, Ajax Dani. Representing Ajax. In an interesting formation. What was your go-to formation if you could have a formation in draft?
I like the 4-4-2 flat.
Yeah?
It's like the best formation in the game in my eyes.
Is that because you can play Ronaldo out wide, Messi out wide, and you've got the option for a Bale striker or a number of options up front?
I'd like, of course, Ronaldo to be my main man in the striker, and maybe next to him Messi, Bale. It doesn't matter. If you have Ronaldo striker in the draft, it's all good.
Someone said, easy snacks?
yeah, this is like my thing.
Is that your saying?
Yeah, it's my saying, yeah.
Well, here we go then. We're underway in this last round of 16 games. Myself, Brandon Smith, next to me, Richard Buckley, and King Ep on the sofa as well. A fellow Dutchman, you could say supporting another Dutchman as well, Mr. Ajax Dani in there as well. But the Stranger, we know how dangerous this man is, Richard Buckley.
Yeah, we do. Early.
Oh, my.
Free kick by Dani. Looking to get the front post run. He's got a lot of stuff, things like that in his locker. We watch him pretty much every week at training day. And we've seen him develop over the last 10 weeks.
Yeah, especially like he played Marv in the groups and he lost to him like 6-1, 5-1 in the training round. And he won 2 times here. So I think the training ground is really paying off in that way.
Well, here comes the Stranger now. An interesting draft from him as well. We only locked him with 88 chem. Was it 98 in the end or 97? Ooh.
97 chem, I think, in the end for him.
Yeah.
What's important as well here is obviously it's a best-of-3 format. Essentially, you want a good start, for example. Is that something you always implement in your games? You obviously want to get the first goal, then take control of the game, or are you quite open-minded?
In my eyes, every time I take like the opening goal, I lose.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know why. I rather get
You're not rather, but you know.
Exactly. But yeah, when I go down first, I'm like more capable of coming back than holding a lead.
There we see Rio Ferdinand for the first time in the tournament. I'm just trying to think why we wouldn't have seen any Rio Ferdinands previously.
Maybe it changed the draft
Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe it changes at 11 o'clock.
Maybe. Maybe indeed.
On a Sunday.
Well then, here we go. Ajax Dani obviously kicking from right to left in the first game. We could potentially be going to the third and final game. Wins a free kick. And Dani maybe has something up his sleeve from free kicks.
He's been telling me he's got a few things off the training ground ready that he's been learning from training day.
There we go. Played it short. Oh, I saw the idea behind that.
When you're constantly playing week in, week out in a competitive environment against someone on training day at the highest level, you are going to pick things up. You are going to pick up little tips and tricks that your opponents do. I remember we saw a corner that Ajax Koen did, where he stuck it to the edge of the box and then played it in.
And it worked nearly. Did it work? Or
It did work, yeah, he scored from it.
For you, for corners this year, just front post flick on, aim it to Ronaldo, or here comes Ronaldo, heel flick. Ooh. The corners this year for you.
Yeah, I watched Gorilla like in Barcelona, and he scored like every corner he gets. So I just do the same thing as him, and it works really well. So it's a bit overpowered in my eyes.
Ronaldo as well is just absolutely insane from a corner,
Yeah,
right?
The Totti Ronaldo is not it's unstoppable. Even Vieira or Hullet, they can't stand a chance against him.
Not really much in this game early on, just a chance for that kind of nearly came through for the Strxnger, of course, from FC Basel, and the German champ, I believe, currently to this day. Obviously, I believe he won one of the last majors in Germany, and a real force to be reckoned with. He keeps himself to himself, doesn't he? But he performs big, doesn't he? He lets the performance do the talk, and here he comes.
Great save.
David De Gea from some sort of save on the leg to feet. Obviously, if you didn't know King Epps a keeper, he can probably give some analysis over that. David De Gea, is he the #1 keeper to go to?
Yeah, in my eyes, he's with Farman, one of the best. But yeah, keepers are not like. Yeah, it's a bit. They're not like in real life. De Gea wouldn't concede like 30-yarders, and in the game he is. So.
Would you do you like the 97 De Gea, or do you like another one?
I don't like special card keepers.
No?
'Cause, yeah, I don't like any keeper, but I'd rather get the old one.
So you'd rather go for the normal De Gea?
Yeah, I did in Barca, so.
Yeah?
And he performed for me, actually, so.
Oh
There we
my.
go. Ronaldo at the front post.
We're talking
And that is
about
what you can do. Just pull out. I don't know why the keeper came off his line. And as you said, King Epp, up the front post with Ronaldo, it's pretty much unstoppable. If he can get it on the right time and then the right jump.
He looked marked out then as well. It looked like it were getting marked, Ronaldo, and he just peeled away from his man.
You can like put 3 guys on him, but he still goes on top of it, and he just had it always perfectly because he has 99 heading accuracy. So look at this, perfectly.
Wow. And there we have it. The deadlock is broken, Richard Buckley. 29 minutes. And for any Ajax fans that are supporting this man, he is 1-0 up. But do not write off this Strxnger. This man is a machine as well.
He is, yeah. Both of these players always seem to turn up at big events, Brandon. And last year, Ajax Dani, 3 back-to-back tournaments he won. The FIWC qualification. He then went on to win the Ziggo E-Battle in Amsterdam, and then he went on to win the Hawks Pro Cup.
He did. Been involved in a number of tournaments, both online and at LAN events. And continuing to try and do well in the Eredivisie as well. Obviously, the league that is one of the go-to role models, I'd say, for esports, FIFA leagues, E-leagues as such. Have you enjoyed that, the Eredivisie?
Yeah, of course. It was a great experience. A nice start of the year. There are a lot of there could be a lot of improvements, but I really enjoyed it.
And obviously, you're very lucky. The Premier League, we didn't have anything yet.
Exactly. So we are one of the first countries to have such a competition, and if you end up first, you will get a ticket for the playoffs. So there's like an extra chance instead of people who don't have like that chance. So.
I believe, obviously, we haven't seen the second half of the season yet, but is it that man from PSV, Ali Agan, is it? If I pronounced it anywhere near correct there.
Yeah, he remains his level, so he's still a competitor of the the second title as well. So yeah, it's an absolute crazy player.
He was in Barcelona as well, Richard, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was.
Nearly
Marcelo down the line.
Nearly half time, and to be honest, there hasn't really been much to separate. Is there a corner?
It's really nice to get a 1-0 for corner, of course.
Oh, of course. Ronaldo now. There's a chance he's opened up 4. Can he get another one? Maybe I've cursed it a little bit too soon. 1-1 the score, and before half time, okay, maybe we have had another chance at another goal.
Yeah, the Strxnger, a lot of people say he plays quite differently. He'll play passes that you don't really see. He doesn't play the predictable pass that a lot of the other pros do, and that's why when people come up against him, they struggle to adopt to his play style. Have you ever played against the Strxnger?
I've played him in FIFA 17 and he knocked me out twice in Madrid and Berlin, so I'm really known with his play style.
Oh my, oh God, I thought it went in.
Ooh, got blocked.
He's played short, yeah, as Dani.
This is only game number 1, remember, as well.
What are your thoughts on the Strxnger?
Strxnger, yeah. Previous year I rated him already, and yeah, he did absolutely amazing in Madrid. He came out of nothing. He got second, and then I think he got top 4 in
Top 4 in Berlin, yeah.
Yes, and that gave him a spot in FIWC, and he didn't do well there, but still he got an amazing year.
And then finished top 8 in
Yes.
top 4, I believe, actually.
Top 2, he knocked out by Nicholas.
Oh,
Right?
sorry, no, yeah,
yeah.
he did get to the PS final, in fact. Really impressive. Again, he's kind of reminds me of a player such as Gorilla as well, that's just consistent.
Always performs. at the
Always
big
performing.
events.
You know, doesn't always have to win the event as such, but
You
will
can
be.
guarantee
Yeah.
he'll be top 4, top 2.
And then obviously there's the players that make the playoffs and continue to be in demand and play for big organisations and clubs as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think Basel's a great fit for him at the minute.
Yes.
And let's not forget 2 football clubs taking part against each other here. Basel with the Strxnger and Ajax Dani. Obviously representing Ajax Esports.
He's definitely indeed, and this is only game number 1. Remember, there's potentially 2 more games depending on how results go. If one player wins one, or Ajax Dani wins this one and wins the next,
Ronaldo's in.
That'll be all over. Here he comes now, though. Ronaldo cuts back inside, look at the run, cuts back inside. No!
I think he held it L2 there.
I think he didn't mean to, or he probably didn't mean to make that complicated.
Yeah.
He just wanted to simplify, didn't he?
Yeah.
And now he's tried something fancy, and they're the chances, Bob, aren't they? They're just, they'll come back and they'll haunt you. Surely he should be finishing that.
It's FIFA 18, so if you miss a chance on the other end will score. So that's just how the game is. The Strxnger's really, really always dangerous in attack.
Clinical in front of the goal.
Exactly.
It's one of these games that really hasn't had much to talk
Not a
about.
lot to shout about.
If you look at another game, so if you talk about like Principe, Cian, there was potentially over 20 goals in that game, or just under for both players. Compared to this one, it's not really a possession game, I'd say. It's just both players a little bit nervous maybe in this first game. I know Bob said you started cold yesterday. Is that a key factor, would you say? You need to warm up before you come into a competition?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. Previous year on like LAN events and Madrid, and you couldn't warm up. You didn't get a game, and this year in
Oh my God!
Barcelona.
Chance now, Messi on that left foot. You know what he can do, and he can really cause some damage. He could have went for the finesse originally with Ronaldo. Played one more, and again, as we're saying,
Undefendable.
Is that the strength of the 4-4-2? You've got your wingers and they cut inside.
The perfect example of the 4-4-2 here.
When you've got someone like Messi who can come inside on that left foot, you can't give him any sort of space because he's so clinical. Look, you can just see now on the replay, plays it into Ronaldo, and Messi just drifts in field.
Yeah.
and
Totally
that first
free.
touch is...
The AI doesn't mark like the side this year, so it's really overpowered, and you see it.
It's obviously a good way to attack as well down the wing, come in, especially if you've got players like Messi and Ronaldo on those flanks.
Yeah, exactly.
And you said before the game, the 4-4-2 usually does overpower the 4-3-2-1. And it's going that way at the minute with the Strxnger 2-1 up, I should say, not 3-1 up.
2-1 to score at the moment. But realistically, Dani should have 2 goals in this game. I don't know how he missed that chance. He's got another chance now for him. Ronaldo. Ball rolls, maybe, potentially. Where's he going with this one? Outside the foot. Pass. Hazard just rushed the shot there. That's not Ajax, Dani.
Yeah, he had time to take a touch there, maybe play it back onto the edge of the box. He's going to look for Ronaldo, wants to get at the front post.
Nah, I think that was a bit too ambitious on that occasion for him.
Not on this occasion. Messi does well to keep the ball.
I think that's a key thing as well. I don't know if you see it, King Up. Just to calm yourself down and reset play, just switch the ball left back to right back.
Yeah.
It just completely resets the team, gives you a second to breathe and just relax.
Yeah, FIFA 18, it's really hard to press, so if you play it to the other side, it's always open, so it gives you a second to breathe, exactly.
Here we go. Chance, through ball, Kante. What a finish! Kante out of the blue.
Finish.
I did not expect that.
Same.
What
From
a
the Frenchman.
finish from Team of the Year Kante. He's got that in his locker, though. That Team of the Year card, he can finish. De Gea has to do better. Go with the hands. I know you got the save with feet, right? Go with the hands.
Why not go with the hands?
In real life, he would have saved this, I guess, so... yeah.
If you didn't know why King Epps going so hard on David De Gea, he is a keeper.
Yeah.
Recently was in Las Vegas, I believe. Not a bad little trip to Las Vegas for a football tournament.
Yeah, I went to Las Vegas for like a soccer trip. They call it soccer in America, so I'm used to it now.
Oh my.
What a chance. That ball flashes wide of the post. With just 20 minutes left to play. If you are just joining us and this is the first game, you are a Basel or an Ajax fan, this is a best-of-3 format.
And you've just come at the right time, really. Honestly, there's still so much FIFA to play of this game. The last game of today, we have been live since, just looking at the time, potentially 12 hours ago we started this stream. So there's been a lot of FIFA action, as we know. Jordi Alba now. Trying to just find that key pass, 2-2 the score now. Remember, if it's a draw, we go to extra time. And then if it's needed, penalties will be on the agenda. On your draft, was there any certain subs you made at the beginning of the game, or did you time them 60th minute, or?
I didn't got a good team, so I made 3 subs at the start of the game to adjust something.
Did you feel like at any point the stamina-wise in your team was suffering?
Chance?
In the groups it was only 90 minutes, but you got to rethink in like the knockouts because you need them. You need them subs to make a difference.
I think it's a key thing as well with the substitutes this year. 60 in-game minutes, they start to flag a few players, especially the ones that haven't got the stamina,
Yes.
as you know. And with a key sub, especially we see it more, you know, in the big major events.
Yeah.
The subs are huge. Are you someone that has bronze benching, or?
No, I have always 3 subs.
Yeah.
You can.
Of course, yeah.
Maximum 3 subs. So, yeah, I've always like Leroy Sané, the 87 one.
Yeah, it seems to be. I don't know if it's a Dutch theme. Danny loves him. I think
Yeah.
Koen loves him. You love him.
He looks like Hullet in game. He's so big, but he's strong, and I don't know how, but he's really strong.
I think a good thing as well, Rich, is that Leroy Sané, he's got pace about him, and he's an outlet. If you want to play long to him, he will hold the ball up.
He can hold the ball up. He's strong, as you said. He's got a very good left foot. Low driven shot across the goalkeeper. You don't have to cut inside. You can just run down the left and then hit it out across the goalkeeper. And also on the back post header as well.
Yes.
It does get up and it does compete at the back post.
The only thing he's missing is like the 4-star skills.
4-star skills, yeah.
But yeah, if he has full stamina, he doesn't need them. So.
And obviously in Barcelona, you could have used the icon Ronaldo. Did you enjoy that?
I had him in my locker for like
Okay.
the start of the game. I bought like a bronze team and him. So.
Oh, right, I see. Oh, my, here we go. Stranger, chance. David De Gea. Big save. Big save.
If it's on his right, if you're on his left foot there, you've got to think maybe open up, finesse shot past the goalkeeper.
I think Dani would have expect like.
Expect to finesse. Expect to finesse. Oh, not with Fernandinho. Maybe not with Fernandinho.
Counter-attack opportunity. 3 against 3 at the back. Good tackle from informer Antonio Valencia.
You see, he's having like a bit of issues to hold the ball with his new formation.
It's the case as well that you've got a great point there, King Ab, is that you only potentially get 2 to 3 games with this new team. You know, as you play at home, you'll play weekend league with a team and play maybe hundreds of games with it. You don't really have time to adapt, do you? You just have to just roll with it and play the best you can.
Exactly.
Hazard. Last chance, potentially of the game to fall for Dani.
Everything has to be right. There's that Leroy Sané we were talking about. The impact sub that the Ajax guys do love, and the man sitting next to me, King Ab.
I think that's just the normal.
Oh, there we go.
Sané.
Chance. Turn back. Which way is he going? Oh, I think he just got confused there. Didn't know which way he wanted to turn. Took a little bit too long on it and got pressed.
Yeah, actually a great tackle in the end. That's a poor pass. That's Antonio Valencia's 1-star weak foot.
You always point it out, but there it is making issues. There it is, Leroy Sané, the finesse. Chance!
Do it.
Oh, he scored it!
Let's go.
Look at the passion on the man.
It's beautiful to see.
How many times have I said Antonio Valencia's 1-star weak foot will cost players? It's an awful pass straight into the midfield. Leroy Sané on his weak foot, slots past the goalkeeper. And that passion from Ajax Dani is why we do this.
I'm
not
not
right.
Yeah, I'm not using Valencia because of the weak foot.
Yeah?
Yeah, in my eyes, he is totally right.
Oh, here we go now. Stranger has to make a change. He has to go for it now. In my opinion, we haven't seen the Stranger we know in this first game. I don't know if that's because of the draft or...
I think you could say that. Maybe it's a formation he's not used to using, the 4-4-2.
Yeah, I heard like the Germans, I talked to them and they said the Stranger's really, really good with the 4-2-3-1. But he needs to adapt.
So he's got one formation and doesn't really play outside of that.
As we said before, there's a handful of players that can play different formations, which is a key thing for big tournaments like this. There's only some players that have to stick to those formations. And when you're in a tournament like this, which is different and good, with the draft format, obviously, as you know, you cannot change formation.
I think Tass is someone who's great at that. Different formations. It can go 5 at the back. It can go 3 at the back. He can play a 4-2-3-1. He's got different formations that he can adjust to, given how the game's going. And right now, Dani has to hold the ball.
All he has to do is defend. All he has to do is defend. And now
Stranger, free kick.
He is giving away a silly free kick.
27 yards out. Marcelo runs over it. Ronaldo also going to run over it, pass it.
Oh,
well read.
too obvious there. Get rid of the ball. And it's now Ajax Dani with an advantage. He has got the advantage. He pinched the goal. right at the deficit there. As you said, that Antonio Valencia just was awful, wasn't it? The pass, next thing you know, defence opened up, Leroy Sané got through, and just a basic finesse, wasn't it? A really basic finesse.
I like that from Danny. He's walked away, he's composing himself. He got very hyped at the end of that game.
I think that's something I've never seen before. Player get up off his seat, have a walk round.
We don't see that, usually. We don't see players calm themselves down and get ready to play the second game. You see Mike there behind him, manager, coach, maybe he's had a few words.
What do you know from Danny as well? He's quite a passionate player, isn't he? And I think he's just going for a drink or something. We'll be back in a second. But the stranger now. He's got his team behind him, in fact. Welcome back to the couch, obviously. King up next to us. You got any questions for that man? What did you make of that game in the end? You knew that Ajax Dani had a big performance in him. Yeah. Didn't see much out of these two, and then out of the blue, we talked about Leroy Sané. You said you're a big fan of him, and he went and scored a massive goal.
Yeah, I think he adjusted really good against his playstyle. He took over like the possession. I think at halftime he had like
63% possession.
Exactly, and that is what made the game hard for the stranger. So
we're just having a look through the camera now at the stranger. That's probably why it looks a bit weird. It looks very composed still.
Yeah.
He's probably been in this position many times before. 1-0 down in a best of 3. He knows how to calm himself down and just play the FIFA that he knows can get results. How hard is it to maintain your composure in a game like that? I think it's important for Danny now to go to get a drink just to calm himself down, because his heart rate will be going after scoring a 90th minute winner like that.
Yeah, it's obviously like a big, a hard thing to take if you concede in the last minute. So it's hard to come back from that, but I think he got like the main experience.
I think as well, which is really key. Like everyone compares this at home. When you get really into a game of FIFA and it doesn't go your way, and you get a little bit angry or tilted, is the word that goes round now. Him just walking out now, getting a drink. Those 2 minutes are just to have a breather. Like you come back in fresh. You don't think it, but you do. You leave that game in chairs. He was just standing up. It does make a huge difference.
Well, how many times when we speak to pros do they say, if you're on weekend league and you lose a game, just don't play another game.
Go away.
Whatever you do not play another game, because nine times out of 10, you will lose that next game that you play.
Is it what do you tend to do when you lose? Maybe on weekend league, you lose a game. Do you hear people? Some people play seasons, or do you just stop for a bit?
I go walk with my dog. It's the golden rule to stop playing after you lose, especially in the qualification mode, because that extra loss you get after a loss.
That could be the difference between qualifying for an event and not qualifying.
Exactly. So yeah, that's a thing you need to develop and experience yourself.
I think that's a very key thing as well. I think in the next game, you said about cold, being a bit cold on the start there. Both these players, obviously, the last games of the day, they have been here since the stream started, supporting these guys, and they've been waiting to do their drafts. I think the stranger isn't, I wouldn't say at full fitness, I'm saying, but he's not warm enough yet. And at the same time, I don't think we've seen enough of Dani yet as well. I think there's so many more goals in these games.
I think there is a lot more goals in these games, but they often say champions can win without playing well.
It's all about the W's, you say?
I don't think we saw a full fit Dani then. I don't think we see a full...
I don't think we saw
100% Dani.
I don't think we saw a 100% competitive game of FIFA there. I reckon both players were quite nervous there, in my opinion.
I don't know what was wrong, but I don't recognize the stranger's game plan. He was a bit like rushing things, and Dani the same thing.
I just, as you said, the stranger, we know he's a big player and he can be a big
one focused man.
He's focused. He knows he's got a job in his hands, but do not write off the stranger yet, because as we know, for some reason it's just a familiar theme. If you win your first game, sometimes you just tend to lose your second game. I don't know why.
And let's be honest, FIFA 18's not gone Dani's way 100%. Last year, he was dominating the scene. This year, he's not been at the same level that he were last year. That's safe to say. This is a big opportunity for him to get his name back on that winner's board.
Yeah, it's really like you need to adapt to this game. It's really different from FIFA 17. FIFA 17 you could press high up the pitch, and now it's more like possession game and waiting. And
it's difficult, we're going into the game now, I believe. The thing that you're saying, though, King Up, is important. It's a different game of FIFA. You have to adapt. Say if Dani was a very attacking player, as we know, he used to just rip his opponents to pieces. Now he has to go back, as you said, and maybe play a bit more possession as well.
And that's what he have done. He adjusted through the year, and it pays off, I guess.
He said as well, I've spoken to him before a number of times, that every game or every tournament he's getting better, he says. Every weekend league he's getting a little bit better, and he's seeing a difference in himself. And whoever wins this event, he's got a massive job to do still to get through to tomorrow for a start. But something like this is massive for confidence, Richard.
It's massive confidence. I'll tell you what, looking at the two drafts, Danny's team is so much better than Strxnger's.
Yeah, but as I said, the formation is really hard to play if you never played it.
Yeah.
So, and the 4-4-2 counts it, but yeah, the players are better for Dani.
And an angle on this as well. Both players didn't redraft.
Both players did stick with their first draft, yeah.
So that's a big call they've made.
I'd probably say over the tournament, the second draft seems to be a little bit more common than the first draft. A lot of people have taken the second draft that we've seen.
Yeah, I think they got a really good first draft both. I wouldn't take my chances if I were in their positions, but yeah, I think they drafted good, but Dani a bit better.
Oh my,
Danny,
here's a
what's
chance
that?
early on. How important is an early goal, as you said? For you, maybe it doesn't work as well, because you just... I think you got a great point there, because, you know, even as a casual player, you go 3-0 up, maybe 25 minutes into a game, you think you've done the job. You just switch off, don't you? Next thing you know, you're potentially 4-3 down. It's one of them things.
In weekend league, when I go 3-0 up in 25 minutes, I just like relax a bit and not focus as much as I did in minute 1. So...
And then just try and push for that rage quit, I presume.
Exactly. And that's dangerous, because when you concede the 3-1, the momentum switch and it can cost you.
And goals change, not just games, they change your mindset as well. You can just feel like you're up against it, and you can feel like there's a goal coming onto you as such, which is something that both these players need to try and, you know, look after the mental side of the game. Obviously, Ajax Dani in their way, Ajax strip from kicking from left to right, and the Strxnger representing FC Basel, kicking from right. So if this is game number 2, remember, our final round of 16 of the evening. And whoever wins this game will play... Oh, my God, I nearly got away with that. We'll be playing... is that Prey, I believe? Another German player, I want to say. So we'll get the bracket up here right for you now. This is how it's looking tomorrow, then. Obviously, it will be Sian up against Megabit. All-German game. And then another all-German game, Richard Buckley. Mo Aubameyang v Dito.
Yeah, massive, massive game. We've got a cross-nation affair in the other quarterfinal, Maestro versus Dragon, French versus English. And then the winner of this game will be taking on Prey in the 4th and final quarterfinal. All the action coming up tomorrow here at the Draft Story Cup. But before we sign off, we've got potentially 2 more games of FIFA if the Strxnger does win this game.
As you said,
guide you through.
As you said, potentially still 2 more games to play. But if Dani wins this, this will be over for him. What's your thoughts as well on the fact that if you do win here and you get through to the quarterfinals, you have to go and sleep on that? Is that something that's negative for you? Would you rather play all your games in one day when you're like hyped up, or do you like having a break between your games?
The guy who wins this game is like really confident after this game, because you knock out a big opponent. So in my eyes, you would have like to play directly after.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And what about you've got to redraft again as well? Every new round.
You got such a good draft as Dani did.
Is it hard to give it away?
Exactly.
For yourself, you would have been happy to give it away, right? Your draft was awful.
If I went through, I would have easily get a new draft.
You said you used your second draft, right?
Yeah, I did.
So if you said your second draft was bad, what was the first one like? In hindsight, was the first one better?
No, it was.
No?
It was absolutely awful.
Any team of the years?
I did get one team of the year, Ronaldo, in my second draft, and he managed to score a few goals for me, but yeah, it wasn't enough.
It's a great first 25 minutes. Sorry to interrupt you there, Brandon.
Sorry, mate.
From Ajax Dani, keeping
Here we
possession.
go.
And now he's got
it's out the
something for
blue.
his rewards.
I'm enjoying the play of Dani here. I'm
He's giving a
really.
little fist bump every time he gets a goal. He loves it.
He's really playing good.
He just spoke about he's changed the game style from last year. I think it took him a little bit to adapt to this new game, but he's kept possession. He's not gave Strxnger any real chances, and you can see there's been a pause.
Yeah.
And since Barcelona, he's been waiting for a main stage to perform on. We know he's been playing well in the Eredivisie. He's been doing exceptionally well in the second half of the season. Maybe that, you need a, I hate to just compare this back to real life football. You need a bit of form. You play a bit of form. As you know, there's different updates with the game as it goes along. You start building. The more practice you play, and you get a little bit of form, you get a little bit of confidence. Dani there, fist bump, bit of a let's go maybe, and then straight back sitting down. He knows his business.
He knows that it is business. He's only 25 minutes in, but first 25 minutes, very, very solid and a game changer potentially right now, Brandon. Sihan has just stepped into the stranger's booth.
He has, maybe to give that man some wise words of wisdom, because he needs them right now. Currently 2-0 down. Sorry, 2-0 down? I'm getting confused. It could be 2-0 in games if it stays like this, sorry. He lost the first game just by a goal. But have you been impressed by Ajax, Dani? He just seems to be very switched on.
Yeah, really impressed by his play.
Nearly, maybe.
Rudiger out of position there by a long way, but he get away with it. Valencia.
Like Danny is in his element now. He's full of confidence. He plays really good, and that's really dangerous for the stranger.
Dangerous for everyone in the competition if he goes through.
I think Stranger just needs a goal. He needs a goal to come alive. We haven't seen, as I said, the Stranger we know yet. We saw him yesterday. He was playing superb and just ripping people apart. We haven't seen it today yet, but there's still time for it.
Ronaldo. There could be a formation though, Brandon, if he's not comfortable with the formation.
I get that as well, because he did put a lot of time and effort. There's Ronaldo on the first, if he can get it. Went with it in the end, and just a second.
Could go in his head like, I don't have formation, I don't have like the players I want.
So like a mental swing, essentially.
Exactly.
And if he's missing a chance here and there, that builds up as well. You know more than anyone as a pro. When those little things get on top of you, if you don't deal with them well, you start to just lose your head, for example.
If you think about that, those things in game, it's really hard to focus on the game, and that could like give you a loss.
Still, this game is completely open. I said we haven't seen that many goals in this game. We literally haven't.
Fernandinho looking for Kovacic on the edge of the box. Not the man that you want, really. Kante does well. Doing what Kante does, that team in the air. Just
look at that run from Ronaldo. Can he drive now? Messi there's making the run. Is he going to play the high through ball? No, he's not. He's going to recycle instead. Ronaldo. Is that Turan? Is he staying on?
Yeah, Ada Turan switched over to left centre mid. Kante comes into the middle in the 3 midfield.
To be fair, though, we were speaking he was potentially going to be coming off. He hasn't come off, has he?
No, I think he brings on a new player in the second half.
Is that something he often does, just because of the stamina situation, or...?
Yeah, I think he's keeping in mind that he may be playing extra time here, so...
That's a great point as well, yeah. Obviously, in the group stages, it was no extra time. It's just win, draw, or lose. Obviously, here, extra time and penalties. Is it a factor as well? Obviously, Dani maybe has had those extra games of training day in there. It could be something. I know a lot of guys practice anyway. Here's a chance now. Hazard and Valencia with the block.
Yeah, great tackle. And also... Ajax Dani has been downstairs, or both of these players, I imagine, downstairs playing Weekend League.
Yep.
Getting the games in. But it's a step up from Weekend League to a competitive LAN event, isn't it? What's some of the differences between playing at home to playing in a studio like this, where you've got the cameras and the lights?
Of course, the pressure, playing for a club, playing on stage for a lot of viewers. The gameplay is, if you need to feel it as a player, but maybe it's in your head, but it's different from home.
It's basically like... When you play Weekend League, obviously you can come up against gold players, etc. You're top 100 every single game here. And you're playing as someone who's at the same level, and either sign for an esports organisation or a club, some are free agents still. Every game is, potentially a final.
Yeah, every game, especially these games against the top 2 player of the PS4. Yeah, you can see it as a final.
Well, we are here in the second half of action. 1-0. The score to Ajax, Dani. I don't know what's lacking from the stranger. You said it could be a little mental swing. He's not happy with his formation, maybe, or something. But he has got players that can score big goals for him. Am I cursing it? Messi. Oh, my God, Rudiger. Right place, right time.
I was speaking to Salzar earlier on yesterday, and he said that heel-to-heel flick from Stranger is unbelievable.
Opens up players. Back post. Anyone there for it? De Gea on the rebound. Just gets away. Thiago Silva with a goal. And a big goal to maybe make the stranger come alive right now.
Very scrappy goal at the back post, but sometimes doesn't matter how it goes in. It just matters that he did get a goal on the board. Thiago Silva nodding home from close range after the initial header was saved. And Messi now looking to double the lead. I should say double lead. I should say take the lead. It's been a long day.
Double his goals. Oh, it's all the same. As we know, 1-1 the score, 2-1 was the score in the last game, and it was just a mistake. You say at this level, Richard, number of times. It is literally the small mistakes that cost you games, especially in a knockout stage like this right now, the round of 16. Ajax Dani, 1-2 if he wanted to. I think he went for a shot there, or maybe a turn, even a fake shot, in fact. with that man Ronaldo.
And how good is that Ronaldo?
Like the CR7 one.
Yeah.
I think he's the best player in the game. He's even better than R9,
R9?
Hullet. Yes, in my eyes.
He just can do everything, can't he? He can finesse it, head it.
Header, yeah.
He just does everything.
Everything.
There's a massive reason why in Barcelona it was a fact that Ronaldo, it was one of the Ronaldos that scored every time. It was the R9 or CR7. And you said Ajax Dani might be making a change shortly, 60th minute, or?
I don't know. He's defending really well, and he didn't give him many chances to score. So I think he would have just stay as it is.
Well, here's that Valencia now. Here's a chance. Modric, sliding it. Yes, and there's a goal for Dani. Oh,
the emotion and so nice.
I got lost in that. I think Dani actually scared me there. He stood up and gave the biggest roar
What
I've
did I
actually
say?
seen.
Brandon, how many times do I say it? Mistakes change games. Why is a stranger not clearing that? Look at the replay. Just clear the ball.
You could just see there, he's so annoyed with himself. And we just said, Richard,
Goes in your head.
literally, it goes in that.
But I think it's really justified because Dani plays better, and Stranger got a scrappy goal. So I think Dani is leading, and it's deserved.
It's deserving. It's a case of, as you said, picking up for the little mistakes the opponent is making. Ronaldo. The stranger now straight back down the other end. Back post again. Ooh.
Great defending from Jordi Alba. Right place, right time. Short corner. Going to find Ronaldo at the front post. Thiago Silva gets over it.
Ooh.
Right now, he just needs to calm down a bit. Mike probably in his ear. Just saying, look, let's just slow it down a little bit. Play at your pace. That's a big thing. Don't... If your opponent needs to score a goal, he's going to be more frantic. You play at your pace. Try and slow the game down. How important is that to implement your own game style on your opponent?
This year it's really annoying because you can keep the ball easily. So if you are up front, it's really hard to come back for the opponent, especially the way Dani. Yeah, exactly. And it really frustrates the opponent, and it leaves gaps in their defense. Ooh.
Oh my, no. Was that the start of something very dangerous?
That was a start to an El Tornado.
Yeah. Apologies there when that goal came in. Actually, Dani scared me. He gave the biggest roar I've seen in it. But again, a prime example, out of the 4 goals that he scored, 2 of them have been mistakes from Stranger. And as we know, the Stranger is potentially one of the best players in this competition in Germany. And at the same time, Ajax Dani, one of the best players in FIFA as well. So
Ajax Dani's forcing him to make mistakes.
He is, which is the pressure he's putting on. I can see that, for example. But I'm interested to see what the Stranger... It just doesn't seem like everything's clicking for him today. I don't know. As you said, as King Ev said, it's a different draft every time. You have to adapt every single time.
There we go again. Ooh, good.
Yeah.
You don't get enough time to play. You don't get 40 games to play, but do you? It's just 2 games, could be 3. And as we said, if the Stranger doesn't get a goal back now, unfortunately for him, he'll be leaving the competition, and Ajax Dani will have booked his place in the quarterfinals tomorrow.
Chance, Ronaldo's in, threaded through ball, 1-on-1.
Oh,
He's away from
you can just see a bit of disappointment there. I just looked through. Ronaldo, big save from David De Gea, and a chance still for the Stranger.
What's got to do differently there?
It's really hard because you expect it to go in, but it's still Ronaldo's left, so it's 60-40 to go in. I think if he may wait a bit longer, he could have chipped it because he did came out with his keeper, but it's really hard to make that decision in like a millisecond.
I think you said about the decisions there. Stranger's made a bad decision there, trying to play down the wing of kind of like a chipped passing. I would like to see the Stranger maybe pause the game, take a breather. I think Sian's in there. He's got 10 in-game minutes to turn this round. If anyone to talk to about getting himself back is Sian.
Yeah, he's a winner.
He turns his custom tactics round. The speed goes up, the aggression goes up, and he knows how to get back. Here he comes now, the Stranger. Marcelo there, again, just in 2 minds what to do.
Look how good Rio Ferdinand's been, though. He's been a difference. He's been the difference maker.
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you here.
He's been able to break up the play. He can play out from the back. He can win most aerial battles in the air.
He's very strong, very fast.
And Dani, technically, his time starts running on. He should be able to see out this game. But as you say, Richard, one more chance is always there. Just needs to get that chance. The Stranger now.
The frustration is really, really big now, especially if he keeps the ball. So it's really hard to make an attack now because of the frustration.
Harder to run.
All Danny wants to do is bring the stranger up, bring him out, then he can come in behind. But he needs to take that risk and win the ball. He's gone for the offside trap, I believe.
And it's worked for him.
And he has won back the ball now.
This is the last one.
He'll get a chance, will the stranger. I always say you get one more chance.
If it stays like this will...
Good tackle from Dani. Wins the ball back.
Be it now, added time. Remember that Dani won the first game 2-1 from a mistake, unfortunately. And he got himself on another goal from another mistake, unfortunately, for the stranger. One bad pass, and surely this could be game over now. Added time at 2 minutes. Dani's in front.
Well played.
And that is the difference, as you just heard from
That's
there,
the
King B. Well played. Could have went for the ball, could have had a shot, and it may have opened one more chance for the stranger.
That's just experience.
Yeah, you don't need to go to win. 2-1, 3-1, doesn't matter. He did a great job there.
You know what, that's a very professional performance from Ajax Dani. He's done what he needed to do. He came out, he got the victory over 2 games, didn't have to go to a 3rd game against potentially, or arguably, one of the best FIFA players on the PS4 right
Look
now.
at the passion there between them two. Mike and Dani, they've done it. They've got himself through to the quarterfinals. But you've got to say out the 2 players. I don't know what it was. I cannot put my finger on it. It was just something. I don't know if it was the draft. I'd be interested from the stranger. What was it for you?
I think the key was Dani didn't concede many goals, and we know from the stranger he can score a lot of goals. He defended perfectly in my eyes, and that is what the difference was, I think.
That man, Ajax Dani, be joining us, potentially.
Potentially, after the handshakes, obviously, the go between both of these players. But I think, as you said, Richard, the issue for me could have been, for Stranger, it was that I think he wasn't too happy with the formation. We saw how long he took with the draft. Something didn't click for him.
I'm going to put it down to 3 things. I think Dani's players were just a little bit better, just a shade better than the Strangers. I don't think the Stranger was that comfortable with his formation. But then thirdly, I think Dani just stepped up to the mark. It was just a good, solid, professional performance from Ajax Dani.
I think a word I want to use to him now. He's coming over now.
Right now on the sofa.
Dani, first of all, massive congratulations. You didn't need to go to the 3rd game. Talk to me about that performance in general.
Yeah, this is a great performance because I heard he bettered a lot of German people last time, and yeah, I know he's a sick player, and you don't need to give him the ball much because if he has the ball, he feels confident, and yeah, if he's scoring, then he keeps scoring goals. Then he's a machine. So for me, yeah, I told before the best way to beat him is just keep ball possession and make him crazy.
And how important was that Rio Ferdinand at the back for you?
Yeah, the moment Rio Ferdinand came, we were like, okay, I think this team, we are not going to replace for next draft. I was thinking a little bit about the formation because he had 4-4-2 wide.
Yep.
And most of the times that formation is just really good, especially against my formation.
4-3-2-1, yep.
Yeah, because I had just narrow, and it's hard to play against that.
And,
but I think it's a deserved win in the end.
And obviously, King was casting on there. What did you make? There's Stranger there. Obviously, commiserations to that man. What was impressive about Dani's performance there? You said about possession. It's a different Dani than we normally know. Dani's normally attack. He's had to change his game this year, and we're seeing what he can do right now.
Yeah, he adjusted very well, played possession, defended really, really good, and I think that was the key to success here.
And for you, you said, you know, is this your time in FIFA now? Are you starting to hit your prime? You're doing well in the Eredivisie. Touchwood, you could be doing well tomorrow as well. Is everything going well for you at the moment?
Yeah, it's hard to say. For now, 1st place in the Eredivisie, Dutch E-League, of course. 1 point above Ruma, but I have 5 less hard opponents. So, yeah, it's hard to say that it's my time now. But I'm feeling that I get more confident, that I play much better as I did, 4 or 5 months ago. And, yeah, I feel I'm just getting better and better.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for Dani for coming on. King Ep as well. Thank you ever so much, Dani.
No Thanks.
Congrats there. Oh, where am I going with these handshakes? We're going to go over to the bracket now to see how today has finished. Richard, talk to me through this and why, first and foremost, why people should return for tomorrow's stream.
Quarterfinals are there, Brandon. Sihan versus Megabit. Massive game in the quarterfinals. Maestro against Dragon. And then that bottom half of the bracket. Mo Aubameyang taking on Dito. And the